Yo, welcome back to another Fortune Flips video. In this video, we're going to show you guys how to sell your products and list them. Not only that, but shipping them out as well. But before I get too deep into that, let me explain what I actually do. So what I do is something called one-to-one reselling, where I get different products like electronics, clothes, and many other things, and I get them for a lower price and sell them for a higher one. Like these AirPod Pros right here that I can get for only around 20 per pair and sell for upwards of 150. So if you want to start out with some of the products you see right here, just visit that link in description with all my private suppliers on it. But back to the main point of this video, which is selling your products and shipping them out. Reselling is obviously a lot more saturated than it was 2 years ago, so your listing is going to be what makes you stand out and give you that competitive edge to get more sales over everyone else. Now let's get started on where you can actually sell your products at. The first and most obvious one is probably going to be Facebook Marketplace. On Facebook, there's over 2 billion users on the app, so that means you have over 2 billion customers to sell to. And you can also do local meetups and also ship your products internationally. So it gives you a large customer base to sell to a lot of different people. But let's get started on how to make a Facebook Marketplace listing that will actually bring you sales.
All right, so obviously the first step is you're just going to need Facebook. So make sure you go ahead and download it. It's free. So go ahead and sign up. Make sure you put that you're 18 years old because they're going to take down your listings for some reason if you're under 18. So go ahead to sell right here. You're going to go to Marketplace and then sell. And then create listing, one item. And then you're going to add photos right here. You're just going to want to do the item that you have. In this case, I'm doing AirPod Pros. So for the title, I'm just going to put AirPod Pro Generation 2s. And then for the price, I usually try to get around 100 to 115 for these. So I'm just going to do 100. And then for condition, if you're not putting used like new, or if you're doing brand new and you're doing a common reselling item like AirPods or spider hoodies, they're going to catch on and take your listing down. So make sure you're putting used like new. And for the description, just put whatever the item is. So put, in this case, AirPod Pro 2nd generation. And then under that, you'll say something like 9 out of 10 condition, barely used. And then message for further details. And then that's good for the description. And then when it comes to listing, there's going to be a bunch of groups near your area. If there's like big cities near you, there's going to be a lot of groups with tens of thousands of people in them that you can list your listing into, if that makes sense. So in my case, you can see obviously there's groups right here, 68,000 members. You're going to want to join as many of these as you can and then list them in there. So click those, boom. And then your listing is all good. And all you got to do now is just press publish. As you can see, it's posting. This usually takes around, see, obviously you can see, boom, they're not posted up. All good to go. So yeah. And now that you know how to list your item, let me show you exactly how to ship your item when you get a sale.
Alright, so when you first start out, obviously you need something to ship your products in. So something I recommend to people are these like polymethane bags right here. They're pretty cheap from Amazon, like 10 bucks for 100 of them. And they can fit smaller products, but for bigger products, you're going to need boxes. So I would go to the USPS store and get the free boxes. But if you're not using their postal service, you're going to need your own boxes. So you can get some off Amazon like these, like they're pretty cheap. You're also going to need something to protect your more expensive products like AirPods and the Maxes and whatnot. So I would recommend bubble wrap. It's pretty cheap. You can get it from like office supply stores and stuff. And also some tape to hold your boxes together. Alright, so once you have your bag, you're just going to take your product and put it in your bag. And then rip off your little protective sealing. And close it up. Alright, the next step is you're going to need to print your label to ship it. So you can use any regular printer would work, like one at your house or your school would work. Or you can use a label printer, which is a little bit more specific. They're like 50 bucks off Amazon or TikTok Shop. But you don't need that. You can also just use a regular printer. Once you have your label printed out, it's going to be just like about this size, like that one right back there. You're going to take your label face up and put it right on top of your bag. So to get your actual label, depending on what app you're selling on, like eBay or Mercari, they will give you a provided label, and all you have to do is connect to your printer or connect to your label printer, and it'll print it out for you. So if you have a label printer, it'll come out already sticky on one side, so you can just slap it on there. But if not, you're just using like a regular old printer like that, you're going to need something like some tape. So regular old tape would work. You're just going to want to take 4 pieces and go one side, top, and bottom. Once everything's all packaged and labeled up, the next step is just dropping it off at the store that you are shipping it through. So either USPS, UPS, FedEx, whatever. But if you are too young to drive and can't get to a store, then you can schedule pickups so you can have them come to you. It is a little bit more complicated, but doable. So that right there is the process on how to list, ship, and sell your products. If you have any questions on how it was done, make sure to leave a comment down below and subscribe for more videos.